Every day, professionals in health and science strive to make groundbreaking discoveries, make better decisions, and deliver better care. And we help them do it by empowering people with knowledge. But it isn't easy. There are always obstacles to overcome. One of Elsevier's boldest risks as a company was publishing Jewish German scholars exiled by the Nazi regime. Scientific progress was being crushed by prejudice, and director Ted Clouds believed history would judge him harshly if he didn't help these refugees get heard. Risking imprisonment or worse, Elsevier published English translations of their vital work. It was a brave, innovative decision and ensured that groundbreaking knowledge reached a global audience. Today, we still believe we must make brave decisions. That's why we pioneer cutting-edge technology to support the international science and medical community. The volume of research has grown exponentially since the 50s, and we have continuously improved the management of information and data. We were the world's first publisher to create and house a database, explored inventive new ways to deliver journals to scientists electronically. And before people had even heard of the World Wide Web, we created a revolutionary pilot to send articles via online connections. Each advancement was a bold step towards the launch of our first commercially available online platform. We are a global information and analytics company, #1 in global science, technology, and health publishing, working with almost every top US health system, as well as leading systems around the world. We are digital and lead the way in big data and information analytics expertise. In everything we do, we'll never stop striving to help expand the boundaries of understanding for the benefit of humanity.
This is you. You are a researcher, or a funder, a librarian, physician, nurse, R&D professional, or health educator. Every single day, you dedicate yourself to accelerating progress in your field, to improving outcomes, not just for you, but for the global community you are part of. You believe in the future of science, research, and medicine, in an open future full of possibilities. At Elsevier, we share that belief. This is why we feel privileged to serve you with reliable information and valuable insights, something we are proud to have done for over 140 years. Our tools put you in control. You can count on us in upholding the highest standards of quality and integrity. We play our part in building a better future for research, healthcare, and people everywhere. True, much progress has been made, yet challenges still exist. Challenges we want to meet through innovation, through partnerships, through accelerating you. So together, we can make a lasting impact on society.
As a researcher, you want to discover, build knowledge, and move research forward. But there are things that stand in your way. You need real-time access to the latest, most relevant content. But how do you find the right information? Who do you trust? 25 million researchers a month count on ScienceDirect to deliver the highest quality, full-text, scientific, technical, and health publications. Whether browsing generally or performing a focused search, our intuitive machine learning and data mining technology sifts through millions of journals and reference books to help you connect the dots and make decisions based on reliable, interdisciplinary research, saving researchers an average of over 47 minutes per day. How? With peer-reviewed research at your fingertips, including open access content, so you can achieve more breakthroughs. With alerts and personalized recommendations based on your signed-in activity, so you can uncover new research in less time. And with optimized HTML and PDF reading experiences, so you can discover, evaluate, and share content more effectively. Need to explore a novel research area? Use ScienceDirect Topics to get up to speed. Want to make annotations or discuss your findings? Export articles using compatible tools like Mendeley. Outside your institution's IP range? Get everything you need with remote access. With ScienceDirect, you'll have more time to gather evidence, uncover new research, innovate in your field, and disseminate your work to a wider audience. Move your research forward and unlock the power of ScienceDirect, your platform for peer-reviewed scholarly literature.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Elsevier webinar, the expert series from Southeast Asia. And today we are going to have a session on managing research remotely, learning from 2020 and moving forward in 2021. Today, Wednesday, 21st April 2021. My name is Johan Zhang, and I'm Elsevier Customers Consultant for Southeast Asia, and I will be your host and also your moderator for this session. Okay, so first and foremost, again, welcome all participants from across Southeast Asia, from Indonesia, from Malaysia, from Brunei, from Philippines. I've seen some from Singapore as well, from Vietnam and so many other places. Welcome, and even some participants as well joining us from other parts in the world. I've seen from South Korea, welcome, from countries even in Europe, in Africa. Thank you so much for joining, and also a blessed Ramadan for everyone celebrating. Okay, so a couple of announcements before we start our session. First, you can ask questions using Q&A feature. You can ask these questions using English. You can also use Thai. You can use Bahasa Indonesia and also Bahasa Melayu. So we will be able to help translating your questions. And then second one, questions will be answered after speaker's explanation. So feel free to put your questions in the Q&A box, and then we will have enough time for the Q&A. Afterward, the third one, materials, recording, and also e-certificates will be provided after the session ends to your registered email accounts. You don't need to register again. There is no attendance list because your email already in our database, and we will send all of the materials, recording, and also how to download your e-certificates after the session ends. And last but not least, please check your audio. If you experience difficulties, please check your devices, or you can try to log off and then rejoin again. This usually will solve the problem. So I hope everyone is ready to start our webinar this afternoon. Okay, so this is our agenda. We are now in the sections of opening section. So opening by moderator, and also I will introduce our speaker after this, and then we will go into speaker session. And then question and answer, and then last but not least, of course, closing and couple of important announcements for everyone. Okay, so let us start with opening from me, and also I'm going to introduce our speaker. So our session this afternoon is about managing research remotely, learning from 2020 and also moving forward in 2021. So the idea is we all experiencing 2020 that are changing the way we interact with workplace, including when we conduct research and also education in general. So what were the learnings in research field in 2020 from the perspective of government of Indonesia and also university in Brunei? So our invited expert will share their take in this webinar. So we have two speakers. Let me introduce them. Okay. So our first speaker is Dr. Abi Tan Chi Hong. Dr. Abi is Assistant Vice Chancellor and Vice President of Research at the University Brunei Darussalam. Abi obtained his undergraduate degree, first class honors in mathematics at University of Manchester Institute of Science and Technology in 2002. Abi passed his PhD in mathematics in 2006 from Manchester University. Abby joined University Brunei Darussalam, or UBD, in 2006. So Abby has held several key administrative positions in UBD. This includes being Director of International and Public Relations Office, or IPRO, from 2003 to 2014. From July 2014 and to June 2016, Abby was the Director of Global Relations Office. In both positions, Abby has made significant contribution to UBD that significantly enhancing UBD's international visibility. In July 2016, Abby was appointed as Dean of the Faculty of Science. As Dean of one of the largest and most research active faculty, Abby oversees many key initiatives and is also one of the key drivers in helping UBD achieve high intensity research status through his dynamic leadership positions. And as of 1st July 2018, Abby was appointed as Vice President. Yeah? So that's the profile of our first speaker. And after Dr. Abby, we will also have our second speaker. So let me introduce our second speaker, Professor Heri Hermansyah, the Director of Intellectual Property Management at the Ministry of Research and Technology, Indonesia. So Prof. Heri Hermansyah is the Director of Intellectual Property Management of the Ministry of Research and Technology, or known as Ristek BRIN, Republic of Indonesia. From 2017 till 2020, he was the Director of Smart City Project of Universitas Indonesia. His academic career started as faculty members of Universitas Indonesia, Head of Bioprocess Engineering Laboratory, Research Group, and Program Study. He received his professorship for chemical engineering. Prof. Heri received his doctor in philosophy in engineering and master of engineering from Tohoku University in Japan. Okay, so we are very happy we can have these two great speakers, prominent speakers that will share their experience, share their insights to everyone joining us. Yeah, so we will start our first session with our first speaker. And for the first session, we have Dr. Abby Tan Chi Hong, Assistant Vice Chancellor and also Vice President Research at the University of Brunei Darussalam. Okay, so I give the floor to Dr. Abby then. Thank you. Dr. Abby, over to you. Dr. Abby, you're still on mute. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to friends from everywhere. Happy Ramadan, Ramadan Kareem to Muslim colleagues. It's been a pleasure to be invited by Elsevier to share my insights on the topic today. Truly a huge pleasure. Before I start, maybe I will just give a very brief introduction to my university. Okay. I will share the screen now, sorry. Johan, I lost the thing just now. I'll start again.
Okay, Dr. Abby, no worries.
Sorry about that.
You can stop sharing first and then start resharing.
Stop sharing. Okay. Can you all see?
Not yet, Dr. Abby.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can see.
I will play this.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much again. Sorry about the technical glitch. So my name is Abby. So I'm actually a mathematician. I'm associate professor of mathematics. So my area of expertise is actually financial mathematics, but I've been doing a lot of administrative work since. Let me move on to the next slide. So maybe I'll just give a brief introduction about our university first before I move on to the topic. Okay, so my university is University Brunei Darussalam, short form UBD. We were established in 1985, so 1 year after independence. In fact, Brunei became independent in 1984. We were a British protectorate for over 100 years. So we are the premier university in the country. So there's around 4,000 students and 400 academic staff. So in terms of nationality, we are quite diverse. So 20% of our students are international. As for our staff, we have quite an equal split. 45% are international from about 30 over countries. So we are classified as a very high intensive research university by QS. In fact, 8 of our colleagues feature in the top 2% scientists, the list that is published by Stanford University. We would like to think we're one of the fastest rising universities because our ranking has been improving steadily. As you can see, we joined the ranking way back in 2015, the ASEAN QS ranking. We started off 400 something, and now we are in the 200s. So we are top 25 for QS Young Asia University ranking. As for Times ranking, we are number 60 now in Asia for Times. And recently, last year, we won the Clarivet South and Southeast Asian Innovation Award. Okay, next. So we're actually a very small university. In fact, the country is very small. We only have 450,000 people in the country. So of which 4,000 actually go to university. So we have 9 academic faculties and 7 research institutes, which is under the purview of my office. So in terms of the research trust, I would think biodiversity is one of our strong areas. Thanks to our the country itself is very green. Brunei is 80% covered by pristine rainforest, so it's a natural lab for biodiversity research. So we are strong in other areas as well: Asian studies, Islamic studies, material science, renewable energy, just to name a few. Okay, so back to the topic. So before I talk about the topic, let me give a brief overview on the country situation with regards to COVID. So the first case was actually recorded on 9th of March, 2020. So there was the first ever case recorded. We believe that this case was linked to an event held outside Brunei at the end of February. When they returned to Brunei, that's where the spread starts. So the pandemic has spread to all districts except Temburong. So in Brunei, there's 4 districts. So Temburong is one of the furthest districts. So immediately after that, we imposed very strict rules. So countries, so we impose very strict rules. We restrict flights for many countries. 2 days or 3 days after the first case, all schools were closed in Brunei, including the university. And on 15th March, which is a week later, travel restrictions were imposed. So it's a blanket travel restriction. So we can't go out and people cannot come in as well. Fast forward 1 month later, there are 218 cases and 3 deaths. However, the good news is there's almost no local case for almost a year now. So we are actually back to normal now in Brunei. Now, as we are speaking now, the national vaccination program is on the way. So as I understand, about 4,000 people has already been vaccinated. So what's the university response? Okay, so within the first 3 days, all lectures and tutorial were conducted online. So we try to minimize face-to-face and big group interaction. So examination move online. So most exams are done online. Although there are still a few exams that is done physically, although with strict social distancing rule in place. So a lot of on-campus student services also became online. So there's no physical interaction. Our our library remains open, but we are very strict regards to borrowing and attendance in library. So very quickly, we drew up a business continuity plan within a week that covers teaching, research, and administrative service. So level operation ranges from 1 to 5. So 1 representing very severe and 5 being very lenient. So at the moment in Brunei, we're on level 5 now. So as for research, it continues as usual, minimal disruption. So lab work continue, although it's restricted to graduate students and research staff with social distancing measure in place. Okay, so usually in the lab, we don't allow for more than 5 people at any one time. So for library, we restrict, we have a very big library, so we restrict attendance to 300 at any one time. So each person will only have 3 hours in the library. So, those QR code scanning is all in place. Practical sessions continue as usual, clinical session as well, but only for graduate students. For taught courses, although most classes are online, there's still some classes that are done physically. We make sure that the attendance do not exceed 30% of the room capacity. So fieldwork continue, again, social distancing measure in place. So one thing we have done differently is we used to not allow for online conference, seminar, workshop. It does happen, but we don't fund them. So what we do now is we change the policy. We allow our colleagues to attend online conference, seminar, workshop. Okay. And one thing we have done is we have maximized Greenland travel. So there's only one country that has Greenland arrangement in Brunei, that's Singapore. There's a lot of mutual travel now between Brunei and Singapore recently. So without a doubt, we suffer because of the pandemic. Various scheme was affected. One obvious one is that we cannot bring our eminent visiting professors or visiting academics to collaborate with colleagues. So the collaboration did take a big hit at the beginning. And our younger colleagues are unable to travel to meet their collaborators or run experiment in their collaborators' lab, because we don't have all the equipment. So some of our experiment are actually done overseas, and that had to stop. And we actually scheduled for a lot of research training workshop to raise the capacity of our researcher, and that was cancelled as well. Perhaps the biggest impact is we were not able to receive our students, our graduate students and our postdoc. They were not able to come. In fact, even now, we are still sorting out their arrival. So that has kind of impacted our research because a lot of the work is actually done by graduate students. So one thing is we try to minimize this damage. We try to offer online enrollment for these students. However, many did not take up the offer due to severe limitation of ability to do research and effectively communicate with supervisors remotely. So a lot of them did not come or did not enroll virtually. I'll talk about a few trends. So one thing about the pandemic is that in a way it's a blessing in disguise. It frees up time for research because most lectures are done online. There's a minimum physical interaction. So there's actually more time for research. As you can see, we subscribe to ScienceDirect, Scopus, and other scholarly databases. The usage actually increased significantly during the pandemic. So on average, increased by at least 40%, the usage of this scholarly database. Our publication also increased significantly. In fact, 2020 was a very good year. We were actually stuck in a plateau for 5 years, around 350 to 400 publication. For 2020, we hit close to 500. There's a 20% increase in publication. Not only that, most of the papers are in very good quality journals. We approximate about 65% in tier 1 or tier 2 journals. In fact, in 2021, it's even better. Around 80% are in tier 1 or tier 2 journals. So just to conclude, despite the pandemic, it's actually a very good year for research because although international collaboration did suffer, but our colleagues have more time to write their papers and more time to conduct research. So this has resulted in an increase or in a small spike in publication numbers. As far as my office is concerned, we have to remain vigilant and be flexible. So there's a lot of revamping of key policies to make sure that there's a smooth running of research activities. In short, we cannot be static. The policy has to be robust and always changing to meet the demands of this, to meet the needs due to this pandemic. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Abby. Yeah, it's short, but it's very sharp. Yeah, because it provides us with an information that what has been achieved so far, yeah, by UB. Yeah, in 2020, we can see from all of the data that you have shared with us. So thank you for that. But I will need to ask you some questions, Dr. Abby, before
please do.
Next one, yeah, because I do receive some questions from participants, yeah, through emails, and I believe that it match with what you present to us. Yeah. Okay. So the first questions I receive sometimes when. Well, sometimes. Let me read the questions. Yeah, this is from participants in Indonesia. There's a questions from. He is a lecturer, yeah, from a university in Indonesia, and he's asking when COVID hits. Yeah, we know that it hits quite bad, yeah, for many countries in Southeast Asia. But some universities they still able to manage this situation well, and I think that's also happened. What happened with your uni. Can you share what's the key success factors in still able to somehow increase the quantity and also quality of publication? Yeah. What will be the
I think one thing, as a whole, the country has done very well. We have reacted very quickly. I mean, perhaps the measure taken was a bit drastic because there was complete shutting of borders. So because of that, the spread was curbed at a very early stage. So it's a year now. We have no local cases. We still have imported case, but that did not affect the day-to-day operation of the university. So as far as the university is concerned, why were we able to still maintain and increase the output? It's mainly because I think they have a lot more time. I think I was speaking to a few professors. They have at least 30-40% more time to finish their writing. Also, I think they were able to adopt technology as well. Although I said international collaboration did suffer because there's no visits, but I think there's a new norm now to collaborate virtually. So there's a lot of so by allowing for online conference, online workshop, it kind of allows us to maintain the momentum. So one thing, publication increased mostly because there's more time for research. Whereas the quality is still there because I think a lot of work is done collaboratively. In terms of publication, 60% of our numbers are with international collaborators. We were still able to maintain it thanks to Zoom, with other online platforms. So that did not really affect the publishing. Although in future we're not sure because at the moment, as I said, the number of graduate students have decreased actually. We are still having difficulty to bring them in. So I think that will probably it will probably be reflected in this year publication number or next year.
Okay.
I hope that answered the question.
Yep. Okay. Do you think that this trend of doing more online research will continue, or do you feel like in the future this still might be a big question mark?
I think it's a norm now. In fact, it has. We try to be digital savvy now, whatever we're doing. So in the past, most of the processes involved in my office are manual. But now, because of the pandemic, it has kind of forced us to adopt a more digital approach towards the process. So now, we are actually implementing online application for many things now. In the past, we did not feel it was necessary, but now I think with COVID, it's best to minimize interaction. We actually implemented online application for most of our processes.
Okay. So moving toward really making the campus as a digital campus, even for research.
Yes. So actually, COVID it hastened it kind of put more urgency to our effort to go digital. In fact, before the pandemic, a lot of colleagues was adamant they don't think blended learning will work. Because of the pandemic, they were forced to adopt an online approach. I myself, because I teach mathematics, it's actually quite difficult to teach mathematics online. But I've adopted and adjusted. I think it's easier in a way because it's not so daunting anymore. Because I used to teach very big classes of 100, 150 students, but now it's all online. So although we can see each other on the screen, but it's different from being in a big lecture with 100 of students. It's less intimidating and it's in a more relaxed manner.
Okay, well, I can imagine teaching math online. That will be very.
Well, there are online tools that we can use to help with the writing of equation. So it actually makes things a lot easier. I personally prefer to teach online. I think it's although tutorial is a bit difficult to do online, but lectures are relatively very easy.
Okay, so let me take a couple of questions from some questions that already posted in the Q&A. And for all other participants, feel free, you can start asking your questions in the Q&A. Before we move to Prof. Harry session, but let me ask a couple of questions more. So from the participants, I have this one. During pandemic, exam, this is about exam. So exam system has been disrupted most. Although online exam and evaluations are going on the clarity and honesty from students, and the overall evaluation is greatly questionable. So the bottom line is our online evaluation system might not be able to cope with the situation. So what is your observation and suggestion and plans for this issue? Even though we are talking about research, maybe you can share a bit as a lecturer, how we should handle the how we should handle the online evaluation system.
I think you're right. In fact, one thing that have to change quickly is the rules and regulation with regards to online examination. Also, the mode or the way it's conducted. So as I understand, when they do online examination, the camera have to be facing them and to make sure they're not copying. Although I'm sure there's other ways to. I'm sure there are flaws to the current arrangement. But as far as for my module, we have online quiz. So it's actually an open book kind of test. So so there are flaws definitely. So I think the university as a whole, we have not really solved this problem yet, I think, with regards to making sure online examination is the way or is effective way of judging student ability. We're still revamping and revising the regulation.
It's a continuous.
Although now, because now, but Brunei now, because now we are in level 5 now, so it's almost back to normal already. So we are seeing more and more physical examination rather than online examination. Yes.
Great, thank you. And another questions before we move to Prof. Harry session. Can you cite some example of revision or new policies adopted in relation to research due to COVID?
Okay, one thing we have done is we have, in the past, we do not allow, as I said, we do not allow for people to attend conference overseas. Online conference, sorry. We allow them to pay, we allow them to attend, but we will not pay. So once COVID happens, we realize it's important for them to still meet their peers, although it's virtually. So we allow for, we fund them for attending online conference. So that's one key policy, I would think, a key change in the policy. Another one is, or we allow for online enrollment of students for graduate students, because we feel that we really need the graduate students. We feel that although ideally they should be here, but at the beginning when they're doing literature review, it could be done from their home country. So we should allow for online registration for the students.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, Dr. Abby. We'll come back to you again in the Q&A, more questions, I think, coming from audience. Right now, we already have 15 I think there will be more coming after this. So thank you, Dr. Abby, yeah, for your sharing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
so much. For now, we are going to move to the second session. So we have Prof. Harry with us now. Hello, Prof. Harry.
Yeah, hello, Johan.
Yeah, hello,
Yes,
hello, Prof.
I'm late.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank
Hello.
you so much for joining, and thank you so much for coming here. And then you will be sharing your insights, yeah, to participants from all across Southeast Asia. So we even have participants from India also joining us, from South Korea, from basically all over the world.
Okay.
So yeah, we really want to know, yeah, how, your take on this particular topic. Okay, so Prof. Harry, maybe you can start sharing your screen, Prof.
Okay. Thank you very much, Johan. Okay, I would like to share my slide. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Today, I would like to share about research and innovation in Indonesia in 2020. We understand that in 2020 we have a very special situation. In 2020, in the beginning, we have coronavirus pandemics, yeah. And then we start from February or March, and Indonesia from March, we start to stay at home. The school is closed, public office also closed, and then we start work from home, and then even the prayer, yeah, the religion activity, we also pray from home, yeah. You know, in Indonesia is a Islamic country. When we have Idul Fitri celebration, this is a big celebration in our country. People do pray at home, and people don't return to their home in at the end of Ramadan festival. And then school start virtual school, and then working also remote from home, shopping online. And this year we start to give vaccination to our population, and then new normal activities also start before and after vaccine. And of course, we still have to do education, we have to do research, etc. And this is a trend during pandemic. This is our minister, Professor Bambang Brojonegoro. He already delivered virtual lecture about less contact economy in new normal situation. Some trend during pandemic, such as online shopping, digital payment, teleworking, telemedicine, teleeducation and training, etc. Yeah, we know we need it. This is not a choice anymore. We need this virtual or online activities. And then in our ministry, we simplifies the program into 3 main programs. We have a national research priority, and then because of pandemic, we also have new program about research consortium for COVID-19. And then the third is the community engagement. The research result and all the knowledge, if we can contribute to our society, we have also the program about, we call this Bakti Inovasi Indonesia. This is a community engagement activities in our country. And then the policy on research innovation, we have priority to develop appropriate technology, value added and commercialization, import, substitution, and local content, also frontier technology. We have some national priority research and product on biohydrocarbon, drone, etc. And then about innovation process in overall, if we divide it into 5 stages: input, activities, output, outcome, and impact. With pandemic, with or without pandemic, we still have to do, we still have to work the activities in research innovation in our ministry. We still have to manage it, and then we still do, we still execute some program. For example, research grant for research funding delivered to our researcher, and then capacity building for our researcher, also some grant for infrastructure. And then the activities of research innovation, although with some budget cut, yeah, we still have research and innovation activities. And then our research activities, we have policy that the research, not only the activities, but should deliver the output, outcome, and impact. And this is not easy in pandemic situation. We have a budget cut situation. Almost 1/3 of our research budget was cut to reallocate, and then reallocate for pandemic or COVID budget. Of course, it is not easy to bring research result from the lab into industry and society. We have did fairly, yeah, to bring the research result from the lab into the industry or society. And then during pandemic situation, also this is make it not easy and more harder how to bring the research from the lab to industry or society. And in pandemic situation, there is many idea, many research switch into COVID related research. And then the cooperation between academics, government, and industry to bring the invention into utilization and commercialization, it is very important. And we also still drive some existing international research collaboration funded by government. We have a bilateral funding program, for example, with UK under Newton Fund, and WO Netherlands, and also Nusantara program with France. And also we have a multilateral joint funding program. This is European with ASEAN. And for your information, in this day, today, we also have a meeting for decision to select the granted proposal. And then for international collaboration, we need, of course, we need contribution such as in-cash or in-kind contribution, and also the collaboration should fair and equitable benefit sharing. And we need agreement or MOU, technical agreement or proposal. And then for the contract for international collaboration, also we have a material transfer agreement and IPR agreement. The international collaboration program usually involve big money, research consortium from multidiscipline or multinationality, and also multi-years collaboration. In our ministry, we also have a foreign research permit. Every foreigner, foreign university, foreign company, or foreign institution who wish to do research in Indonesia, where Indonesia is the living lab for their research, such as in the field of biodiversity, forestry, maritime, fishery, archaeology, for example, social humanity, and also health medicine. the foreign researchers should apply the foreign research permit. You can access this website www.frp.ristekgreen.go.id, and you can proceed the research permit to operate your research in Indonesia. And every year, usually about 500 research proposal or research application proposed in the system. And then during pandemic situation, yeah, this is very hard and decrease into 177 because we also ban the mobility of the researcher come or come to Indonesia. And then this is the country who top 10 where the foreign researcher come for the last 10 years. And this is the profile of the publication in international collaboration in Indonesia. The international collaboration and the collaboration between academic and corporate give high citation in case of the publication. This is, for example, academic corporate collaboration give almost 20 times our average citation. And we also, during pandemic situation, we also continue our assistance to promote, to develop our national journal managed by university or research institution. We have a journal accreditation system in our ministry. So in 2020, yeah, we still continue the activities to do assessment, to assess journal who apply for the accreditation. More than 1,000 our national journal was accredited during pandemic situation. And then we also give assistance to our national journal in Bahasa Indonesia who want to shifting into international journal. And now we have about 92 international journal indexed by Scopus Elsevier. Yeah. And then if we see the publication trend, in 2020, our national publication still slightly increased, although we are still in a pandemic situation. We hope in 2021 also, yeah, at least not decrease, yeah, but yeah, still slightly increase. And a better news is our article still have decrease in sharp increase here. So although our total publication only slightly increased, but in case of articles, we still have a good profile for increasing number of publication. And then this is we also analyze the number of publications per person. In 2020, we still have active researchers who do more than one publication per year. And then this is the productivity of our intellectual property. Some research institute still can give impact to their institution. From their IPR, they still get a royalty. This is about 11 billion rupiah to their institution. And then we also still give an assistance to make the lab to industry. For example, in this pandemic situation, this is a Genos. Yeah, Genos is from your breath, and then we analyze the possibility for the infected by COVID. This is screening. If positive or negative, and then in case of positive, and then goes to PCR. So this is very cheap compared to if we do PCR from the beginning. So our population is very big, so this genus is very phenomenal at this time. Now our government use this genus to screen people who take mass transportation, and then this is the research and innovation in COVID-19 in our country in 2020. We do some research collaboration between government, academic, and industry in the field of the prevention, screening, diagnosis, social humanity, medicine and therapy, medical and supporting equipment. And then we also, in this 2020, during pandemic situation, we drive some policy to make our research innovation ecosystem better. We release the rule, the government law about tax deduction and e-catalog. In case of the tax deduction in 2020, we have a regulation that the industry who allocate the budget for R&D, they have right to propose the tax deduction to our government. And then for the research and innovation product, also we can put it into our government e-catalog. Although the price is higher than the market price, for example, because the innovation products still not mass production, our government can help the researcher to put it into our e-catalog, so the government can purchase the innovation product, although the price higher than the market price. And then we also in 2020 we give appreciation for the productivity of our researcher. We give intellectual property productive award, that researcher who has intellectual property, and then the intellectual property become productive, and then can give income or can give revenue to the inventor, can give royalty to their institution. We give appreciation to about 26 license or commercialized IPR. And then we also give productive and high quality scientific article and authors in 2020. We give incentive to 600 high quality scientific article in health and medicine. And today I see the attendance is very big, more than it's about 1.6 thousand. So in order to promote international research collaboration, we in Indonesia very welcome to all researchers in the world to collaborate with our researcher, and then by meeting in this virtual meeting, virtual conference, and then we can know each other, and then we can engage and make a joint proposal, joint research, and then also joint supervision for undergraduate, master, or PhD student, and also do joint publication. So this cyclus from joint conference or workshop, and then can promote the joint proposal, and then have activity for joint research, and then have activity for joint supervision, and then joint publication. So we have after this meeting, we can have output also, outcome, that impact from Elsevier meeting. Thank you very much. So I give again to you, Johan, for the moderator. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Prof. Harry, and also Dr. Abby. So yeah, we already see how the explanations from both Prof. Harry and Dr. Abby do highlights the importance of collaboration, the importance of a passion, and even the importance of policies to help drive research. Yeah, even though we are still living in COVID situations, but I think it's getting better. Both from Dr. Abby and Prof. Harry's presentations, we can see some lights. Yeah, even though maybe in the beginning everyone was confused on how we can manage this, but in the end we can still, we are still able to see some great outcomes from all of these policies and actions from government, from universities. Yeah. Okay. So let's move now to the Q&A section. Yeah, so we do have a couple of questions already in the chat, in the Q&A. Yeah, so again, for everyone, you can put your question in the Q&A, and I will ask the questions based on who you ask these questions to. Yeah, okay. So yeah, okay. We start with the first question. Yeah, this is from, I think, Ma'am Eva. Yeah, and I would say that this is this question is going it's for Dr. Abby. Yeah. So what questions from Ma'am Eva over here? What are the strategies in conducting research remotely so as to make the output more effective and successful, especially this pandemic? Maybe you can share more of your experience and insight on this issue, Dr. Abby.
I think the key here is to give more time for research. Of course, with the pandemic, it kind of, because the number of teaching hours get reduced. So the key is to be more flexible, to allow them more time for research, and for them to attend more conference seminar and to facilitate the application process, and also to expedite the approval for research leave, for example, research grant, for example. One thing is I did not mention earlier is that in a way this COVID is a blessing in disguise, because a lot of the budget was not used. For example, traveling budget for students to travel overseas for their study abroad or for their internship. This was not used. Fortunately for me, the budget was diverted to me. So this perhaps could explain the increase in publication as well, because they had more funding. So with the funding, they were able to buy better equipments. They were able to upgrade their software, for example. Yes.
Okay, so the key would be to be flexible in our approach, because we are facing an uncertain situation.
Yes.
So we have to adapt.
Because our rules and regulations are not prepared for this pandemic. It's not built for this pandemic. So a lot of times it requires a manual intervention for myself or for my colleagues to make sure the research happens. And because our rule and regulation definitely do not cover, we did not expect this pandemic to hit us. So it was not ready in a way. Yeah.
There is no like a rap alert. If pandemic happened, then this is what you have to do. There's no such thing in our regulation.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Abby. Okay, the next one I think is from to Prof. Harry. So Prof. Harry, this is the questions from fellow researchers from researcher in Indonesia, asking about laboratorium usage, Prof. Harry. So do you feel like because of pandemic, I believe that you might have been asked these questions before, and I've seen these questions in a couple of other webinars that we have. So what do you say about for researchers that need to use lab to conduct research? How can maybe from RISTEC do help with this, or maybe there's a guide for university on how to still help researchers that want to conduct research in lab?
Okay, basically it depends on depend on their research field. Yeah. For example, in life science, they already equipped with equipment for their protection in the lab. Yeah. But so during pandemic situation, they only adjust the number of people in the lab. But in other field, yeah, for example, in social humanity, who the research field in outside the lab, yeah, maybe in the community or society. So this very impact is very affected. So how to engage with people? So basically, the protocol COVID new normal, or so you should equip yourself for your protection and your counterpart protection. So in case your research lab in campus or in research institute, you can equip by COVID equipment, and then the management in the university and the lab will arrange usually in shift working, how many people today, how many people in next day. So you have 24 hours, and then you can coordinate with your supervisor or management in laboratory or in university or research institute. So you still can do work, or you can do research or working in the lab. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that tips, Prof. Harry. Okay, now moving to the next question. Prof. Harry, is it okay if I continue asking you, because this is quite connect with the first questions. This is about research using secondary data. So would RISTEC also be okay if because of COVID situations, then let's say they have to do research using only secondary data? Do you think that's still possible?
Yeah, possible or not possible. The researcher should make an assessment. Yeah, we are as a regulator, we give you research funding to do research activities and to deliver the output, outcome, and impact. But the strategy, how to do the research, how to deliver the output, we give it to the researcher. So as researcher, you should decide the secondary data enough or not for your high quality research. If enough, yeah, you can do that. But if you consider not enough, yeah, you have to make a strategy how to collect data. Maybe yeah, you should make a coordination with other peoples. And now at this time, for example, some people already vaccinated, and then some people already used to do activities using masker, keep a distance, for example. So maybe you can also start to collect more data. So it depends on you as a researcher. Please make decision. You have to do the quality control for your process and result. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Harry. Now to Dr. Abby. Dr. Abby, maybe you can share your insight on your thoughts on the validity and legitimacy of research data obtained online, especially since face-to-face collections of data is not allowed. Do you think that there is an issue over here regarding the validity and also legitimacy of data?
Of course, there will always be issue with regards to legitimacy. Yeah? Of course, because for the university, we strongly encourage researchers to publish in good journals. In fact, yeah, as I mentioned to one of the question addressed to me, is that promotion depends on the quality of journals they publish in. So if their data are not very legitimate, it will definitely show in their results, and it will definitely affect the publication with the certain journals. So it's in their best interest to make sure that the results are legitimate, or the data they obtain are legitimate online. Okay.
Okay. So there are a lot of questions about this. So I believe that both Dr. Abby and Prof. Heri can answer this. It's more about collaboration. So I believe that this forum can also be used to have to start building a collaboration with other countries. So the question is, how can, maybe start with Dr. Abby, how can you facilitate collaborations between researchers from various countries? How would your institutions help with this process? Same with Prof. Heri, how would someone from outside of Indonesia could have collaborations with researchers in Indonesia? Maybe we can start with Dr. Abby on this.
Before COVID, my office have introduced a lot of new schemes to promote collaboration. Just to name a few, we have a lab attachment scheme whereby our colleagues can visit the collaborators' lab or go back to the university that had a PhD to do lab work. We also have this scheme called the Research Mobility Scheme, whereby we allow our colleagues to just visit potential collaborators to discuss about an idea on how that can be translated into publication, for example. So we have this kind of scheme in place. Of course, when COVID happened, the key to this scheme is they have to travel. Because COVID happened, they were not able to travel. So it kind of impacted our schemes. But again, we are very much open to collaborative research. So we still continue to appoint visiting academics to the university. Although they cannot come, but we try as much as possible to facilitate online lectures, online workshop, for example, so that this doesn't stop. So once the border open, they can immediately travel and hit the ground running, rather than stop collaborative work completely. I think one thing that's definitely affected is the lab work. You cannot replace a physical experiment virtually. So, but I would think research in social sciences where there's no physical experiment is probably a bit easier to do research still.
Okay, so it's open for everyone. Of course, yeah, I believe that this year would be a year where we can start thinking about how to collaborate, start the planning.
Yes.
I believe hopefully in the next couple of months, we can start the real work. Yeah. Okay, so thank you, Dr. Abi. Prof. Heri, how to collaborate with researchers from Indonesia? Prof. Heri, sorry, you're still on mute.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. In order to promote international research collaboration, we are as a research management in ministry. So we create or we develop programs to promote international collaboration. So we can start from creating the program, and then we do matchmaking between Indonesian and international researcher. So from matchmaking, some researcher who interest to collaborate each other, they will engage, they will communicate, and then they will develop a proposal, and then they propose the international research grant. For example, I just mentioned the bilateral international collaboration program and also multilateral international collaboration program. And then from after they make a proposal, there is an assessment, they can get research grant, and then the collaboration program can begin. But in actual activities, with or without research grant, for example, even the bilateral or multilateral scheme they cannot obtain, they still have their own research funding. For example, research funding from Indonesia, research funding from their international country, for example, and then after knowing each other, they still can do some activities. Yeah, they can do joint supervision, and they can do joint research paper, for example. And then they also can invite each other to attend the international research conference as speakers, for example. So many things can happen after matchmaking. And then more important thing, the research collaboration also engage with education program. So between research collaboration and education program. For example, in our university, some university has uh, double degree program, joint degree program. So the engagement become very wide. Yeah, start from education and then into research. Also, in opposite, starting from research and then join in education program. Also, maybe that is some idea in our program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. So there's actually so many opportunities to collaborate. Yeah, not just joint paper, but there are other opportunities as well. And of course, from the ministry, we'll be happy to be the matchmaker between these researchers. Dr. Abby, you got an invite from one of the university from the Philippines.
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. I love to go. Yeah. When the border open.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough. As I mentioned,
Hmm.
there's Greenland travel with Singapore, so I'm lucky enough to be able to travel to NUS to initiate some collaboration.
Okay.
So once the border open, I'll be more than happy to visit universities to initiate and explore collaboration.
Yeah. Okay. So I believe that the theme or the learnings that we got from COVID, even though it's bad, but there's a light in terms of we now know the value of collaborations, how important it is, and there are actually so many opportunities out there for researchers in Southeast Asia in particular to build a strong collaboration with each other, and from that it can create a stronger more higher quality research results. Yep. Okay. So we still have more. We still have time. Yeah. So let me see other questions that we can answer as well. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there is a. This is not a questions, but this is a praise to Prof. Harry. Congratulations, Prof. Harry. Your research as well as your outputs, they're well supported by government. Thank you. Yep. Okay, next. Okay, let me see. Yeah, some of the questions. Okay, maybe this is for Dr. Abby. So what is your opinion about the role of research office when trying uh, trying to help researchers in especially during pandemic?
I think, as I mentioned, our role is to create solution to make things more effective and efficient. So I personally believe in doing 100 things, 1% better for each process to improve the efficiency by 1%. So if you add up the cumulative effect of improving 100 things by 1%, the effect will be huge. The benefit will be huge. So as far as my office is concerned, what we've done so far is we have rolled out the online application for conference grant application. We intend to extend it out to research leave application, conference grant application, ethics application, for example. So this is to cut down on the processing time for approval. So of course, with the pandemic, it's even more important that we speed up all these processes so that research output will continue to grow for the university.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Abby. Now, maybe continuing from that, and I believe that Prof. Harry can also later jump into these questions. Yeah, so this is a very important questions, I believe, for research community. Yeah, for everyone. So because of we have seen technology really can actually help research to grow and make it easier, but at the same time, we also see that there are increase in predatory journals and low quality journals. Yeah, even some websites out there, they can hack systems and make it unethical practice for research community. So in this case, dealing with low quality journals, dealing with hacking for database hacking and so on. What's your take on this, and how should researchers know and get information about this particular issue? Maybe we can start with you, Dr. Abby.
I think my office, we regularly check the publication. So I think it's in the best interest of a researcher to publish in good quality journals, because ultimately their promotion or even applying for grants, it depends on where they publish. So it's not hard to check the impact factor of a journal. So I don't think it's a problem anymore. Now researchers are very much aware that they have to publish in good quality journals, because it's very easy to check now the validity or legitimacy of a journal. Just go Google and search, or go to Scopus and search impact factors. So it's very straightforward now. I think all our researchers are very much aware of all these predatory journals is out there, because we actually have a list of them, although the list is always changing. But we roughly know what are the journals that are predatory, and not to fall for it. In fact, we have a conference grant committee. So usually a lot of conference now, I wouldn't say they're predatory, but they're linked to journals that could be predatory. So we are we really vet the conference to make sure that the journals that are affiliated with it is not, they're just not just asking for money, but they're actually good quality journals. Yeah.
Okay.
So one way, of course, is to see who are the editor of the journals. If they're from reputable university and these are reputable researcher, higher chances are they are legitimate journals.
Okay, so from your university, it seems like there's a lot of activities to introduce this concept, to make sure that everyone is aware. And we can see that not just the increase in quantity, but also in quality of your publication, right?
Because promotion ultimately for our researcher, especially to high level, from senior lecturer to associate professor and above, it really depends on the quality of journals that they publish in. We also use external referee from reputable university to comment on the work of our researcher. So it's actually in the best interest of the researcher not to publish in low quality journals.
Okay, thank you. Prof. Harry, yes. What do you think about this particular issue?
Yeah, the predatory is very dangerous. It can make the publication become waste. In Indonesia, we have about 300,000 lecturers. So very big. At this time, our lecturer who already has publication, it's only about 200,000. So 2/3 has publication. So in our country, there is still a lecturer who still has no publication. Maybe because of their university, teaching university, not research university. And then we have program to promote all researchers to start do research. So we make 3 stage for the beginner. The lecturer who start to do research, for example. So how they do research, we give affirmation program to give a startup or seed grant, for example. And then after they do research, the result, how to write it into publication. And then in the middle stage, the researcher who already used to do research, and then we drive the researcher to produce a quality journal, quality articles. And then the researcher, our prominent researcher, so we drive the prominent researcher to deliver the high quality of the journal articles. So we also have the same system with Dr. Abby. In order to prevent the prominent researcher get involved in the predatory journal, we have a promotion system that screening the predatory journal. Every lecturer who want to promote into associate professor, for example, their article is checked by board of reviewers, board of reviewer of the ministry. If the article is connected to the, for example, predatory journal, so the lecturer cannot be promoted. They should do research again to deliver the articles again in good quality journal. And then every year we give about more than 10,000 research grant, yeah, to our researcher. So our rule also, we make a guideline that the output of our research grant should not engage with the plagiarism, predatory journal, for example. Yeah. So yeah, we have to make that system. But maybe there is a supply and demand. Yeah, many people want to have journal, so there is a predatory journal. So we must prevent, and we have to work together. Yeah, we have to work together. We have to report if we found there is a journal indicated with predatory to the publisher. So the journal can be cut, discontinued, and we also put it into our list, so we can also prevent the lecturer who use the article in the predatory journal for the promotion. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for Dr. Abi Prof. Heri. Last question. I think this is a very important, critical questions, especially during COVID situation. How do you encourage researchers or even students, yeah, to still want to do research and publication, especially if we are talking about let's say, a budget cut for research, yeah, or less fund can be given due to economic situation, yeah, or various other challenges due to COVID-19. But how do you still keep them want to do research? Yeah, your lecturers, your faculty members, and also even your students. How to make them still believe in research? Maybe a tough question for this one.
Maybe Prof. Harry can answer first.
How you still make them want to do research, even though, yes, the reality is there's a budget cut. Yes, the reality is there are other challenges, health challenges, yeah, maybe motivation, demotivated as well. But how do you still make them believe in research?
I just mentioned that we have at least lecture population about 300,000. Our budget, if compared to 300 lecturer, is very small. Yeah, but we still allocate budget for the research. And in 2020, we have wanted budget cut, but in 2021, we have full budget at this time. And because of our researcher population is very big, yeah. If we offer the research grant, yeah, it will be sell out, yeah, in a minute. For example, in pandemic situation, we usually make a call proposal for all lecturer in Indonesia during 2 weeks. Yeah, we in our system more than 27,000 research proposal was submitted. Yeah, 27,000 within 2 weeks, and then our budget only enough to give or to give funding for only about 10,000 proposal. So in case in Indonesia, yeah, because the number of university and number of population is still very big, although in pandemic situation the unenthusiastic, the motivation to do research still very high, because although pandemic situation, they can still have promotion. They still have a student to do the final project, for example, and then the research grant is very important to support their research. So any opportunity for research grant, usually the researcher in our country enthusiastic to propose, yeah, at this time. For example, in 2020, during 2 weeks, we call proposal, 27 research proposal was submitted into our system. And then we select the proposal, and then we give fund to about 10,000 research proposals. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Heri. Okay, Dr. Abby, what's your take on this?
I think, I mean, our lecturers are naturally very self-motivated, because, as I said, the promotion and everything depends on the publication. As for our students, I think they understand that, like, R&D is very important for the development of a country. I'm talking about long term. So our students naturally are getting more and more involved in research, and we encourage them as well. For example, now all our undergrad students do a research project in their final year. So we encourage them to even publish their research work. And we, despite the slight budget cut in previous years, we were able to sustain research. And one good thing about us is we have this unusual problem, because, as I said, our budget during COVID year actually increased unexpectedly by 30% for research, because some budget were not used because they could not travel. For example, they could not buy things because the things could not arrive in time. Because as you know, worldwide logistics was affected as well. So we had an unexpected increase in budget. So with that, we were able to actually award more research grant rather than reduce the number of research grant. So that has kind of kept our researcher motivated, and that shows in the results. There were more publication, there's more time for research as well. The only thing is we were not able to recruit graduate students. That's the only big problem that we have.
Okay, thank you. Okay, last maybe a statement from Prof. Heri and also Dr. Abby regarding what sort of any statement you would like to give to all of the researchers joining us this session, especially regarding still doing research despite challenging situation. What can you say to all of these researchers? Yes, we're almost out from COVID, hopefully very soon. We are still in it, but how can some sort of word of encouragement for everyone that to help them still get motivated to do research? Who wants to start?
Maybe Prof. Heri can start.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. As a researcher, research. Yeah. So the researcher should find a way in any situation, in any circumstances, in any situation. The researcher should find a way, and then. Now we have a special situation. In this special situation, of course, there will be an opportunity. If the researcher can find the opportunity in this situation, maybe some researcher will lead or will give result in very in very base and that can be useful for society. For example, if in COVID there is a protecting equipment, ventilator, or detecting equipment, for example, detector. And then in normal situation, maybe it's only common result. But in COVID situation, the research related to vaccine, to protecting equipment, related to detecting equipment, this become a very big impact to the people who exposed to COVID. So behind the disaster, there is an opportunity. So the researchers should find the way how to solve the problem, and then can give more result and then contribution to the society. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prof. Harry. Dr. Abby, some words of encouragement for everyone.
I think, as I said, COVID is very unusual. We have to embrace technology. I think technology, AI, machine learning has come a long way. I mean, just give example. Now, we've come to a point where a lot of experiments, you don't need to do it physically. You can do it virtually. For example, in material science, scientists already know what's the what do you call the genetic makeup of the materials. So they can predict the characteristic, they can predict the function, the reaction using AI. So this is due to advancement in technology. So I think we should not use COVID as an excuse not to do research. It should be the other way around. It should be a motivation to do research and to embrace technology, to go one step further. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so it should not be an excuse. Thank you so much.
I would think so. I would think so, because I think as I said, technology has advanced a lot. It's different from in the old days. I mean, in the old days, for example, when I'm teaching, I used to have to mark a lot of assignment, quiz. But now it's with online platform. It's all done automatically. Once the students sit for the test, the results come out immediately. And that saved me many hours of trying to mark and think, and how many marks to give. So technology has really made our life a lot easier.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So thank you again. Yeah, Prof. Harry. Thank you so much, Dr. Abby, for spending your time and also.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I believe that almost 2,000 participants, that joined this session this afternoon, learned a lot from both of you. Yeah, so thank you so much. There's so many questions that due to time we cannot answer one by one. Still so many in chat as well. But I believe that it already helps everyone. So thank you, Prof. Harry and also Dr. Abby. And for all of the, of course, if we still have another chance, of course, we will invite everyone back, including you, Dr. Abby, Prof. Harry. Yeah, and we'll share.
My pleasure. It's an honor. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abby. Okay, so yeah, we come to the end of this webinar session. But for all the participants, we will be right now. I will be sharing with you. First is the post-event survey. So we would like to hear from all of you some of your comments, or maybe you have other input to our webinar. So let me share the post-event survey. Okay, wait, let me open it first. Okay. So this is the link to our post-event survey, and also you can go directly by scanning the QR code. My colleague Sonam will be sharing the link to the chat box as well. So you can see the link and also scan the QR code. We would really love to hear from you, because we wanted to know what are other topics you think will be interesting for us to cover next time. So please feel free to answer this post-event survey, and then we will take notes on your input for us, and then we'll do better, of course, every single time next time we meet you. So this is the post-event survey. You can screenshot this first, because after this I will share with you on how you can download your e-certificate. So if you have maybe a bit of a problem with your internet connection, it's okay. You don't have to do this exactly now, but you can screenshot, or you're doing it now, it's also okay. And then after this, I'll share with you how to download e-certificate. Okay, so hopefully, let's give it a couple of seconds before I move to the next slide. Okay, so let's move now how you can download your e-certificate. Okay, so this is how you can claim your e-certificate. Now we are using a platform. So by going to this platform, you will be able to download your certificate. But there are some steps that you need to follow to be able to download it yourself. So first and foremost, you can go to this link. Yeah, so first and foremost, you can go to this link, bit.ly/ELCEXP21, or you can just scan the QR code. Okay. Now, after you go to this link, you will be required to answer some questions. Yeah, just some quick questions, 5 or 6 multiple choice questions. Okay. And afterwards, you need to type in the workshop code. And this is the workshop code. Yeah. VMDFWV. Yeah. So VMDFWV. Yeah. Once you type in your workshop code, yeah, now this is a step that needs to be we need to pay attention to. Yeah. So after you type in this code, then what will happen is there are two possibilities. One, you will be able to download your certificate right away. Yeah. So one, you will be able to download your certificate right away. You will see this information. Yeah. Congratulations, Johan. You have attended webinar Elsevier, blah, blah, blah. And then you can download your certificate. Yeah. It might take you 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah. You need to refresh the page. Yeah. So before the certificate is being generated. Okay. That's the first thing that can happen. Or yeah, you will be once you type in this code, then there is a possibility you will see there going to be a sentence. This account is not eligible to download certificate. Yeah. So if that happens, so again, if you see a sentence, this account is not eligible to download certificate, you don't have to worry. Yeah, because all you need to do is go to the person icon on the top right side. Yeah, so just go to the person icon on the top right side and then click on that icon. Then what will happen is you will need to register or sign in first. Yeah, so you need to register or sign in to your Elsevier ID. Yeah, after you finish the very easy registration or sign in process, then just refresh the page. Yeah, just refresh the page and then you will be able to see this message. Yeah, so again, if you type in this one and you see this account is not eligible to download, no worries. Just click on the person icon, register or sign in first, and then after that, refresh the page. Then you will be able to download your certificate. Yeah. Okay. The reason why we need you to register or sign in first is that we need to know your first and last name. That this platform will generate certificate with your first and last name. Yeah. So that's why we need you to register or sign in first. Okay. Hopefully it's clear for everyone. So if you have problems, maybe with previous webinars that you join, let's say you type in the workshop code and you receive this information, just register or sign in first, then you will be able to claim your certificate. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. Please do screenshot this as well. Yeah. We will send you the post-event survey, the materials. Yeah. Including this including this slide. Yeah. So feel free. You can do this now. You can do this a bit later. That's also fine. Yeah. That's on how you can claim a certificate. Yeah, so I'm going to stop sharing. Yeah, let's give everyone a couple of seconds to maybe screenshot or just type in this in your web browser. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So let me stop sharing. Yeah. Okay. So once again, thank you so much for almost 2,000 participants joining us from all over Southeast Asia and even outside of Southeast Asia. Yeah, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for listening, tuning in. Hopefully you learned a lot. Yeah, again, thank you, Dr. Abby. Thank you, Prof. Harry, and everyone.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, and we really hope that you learn a lot. And of course, this is not the only expert series webinar that we will do this year. So there will be more of these types of webinar coming, and we will invite everyone to join our upcoming webinars. Yeah. So again, thank you so much. Good afternoon, and hopefully everyone stay safe, and stay healthy. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, and see you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.